Hello everyone, my name is Dr. Raj Dandekar and I'm one of the three co-founders of Videsh. In this video, I'm going to go through the three main factors which really determine your grad school admits, especially for top universities. Before going further, let me introduce about Videsh. So the main aim of Videsh is to help candidates land their dream university. Videsh was founded by three people, including me. My name is Dr. Raj. Here's my twin brother, Dr. Rajat, and our very close friend for the past 10 years, Dr. Sridat. We all graduated from IIT Madras in 2017, and when we applied to grad school, we got admits at MIT, Stanford, Purdue, UIUC, Michigan, CMU, and all the top universities of the world. Me and Shridat went to pursue our PhD at MIT, and Rajat went to pursue his PhD at Purdue. While doing our PhDs, we really appreciated the value of research so much. We saw that research is really underrated in India. Even in undergraduate colleges, people don't focus too much on research. Instead, they are busy chasing positions of responsibilities in college festivals. Here you can see the photos of us defending our thesis and giving several presentations. One of the main reasons we came back to India and started Videsh is to promote research in this country. So, after finishing our PhDs from MIT and Purdue, we came back to India, and now our mission is to help students get admits to their dream universities. When we applied to colleges, there was no one there to guide us, and it was a lot of struggle. It was very difficult to find seniors who are reliable mentors, and our aim is to make this process simple for candidates who are going through this journey right now. So, let me directly get to the main point of today's video is to tell you about the three main factors which determine a grad school admit chances. So the three main factors are: first is of course the CGPA, the second is importance of storytelling in the application, and third is the research profile. Now, there are so many students who only know about the first point and they think that if their CGPA is low, then they don't stand a good chance of getting admits into good universities. But they do not know about the remaining two factors. In this video, let me go through all of these three factors and how important they are. First is the impact of GPA. Having a good CGPA is a great way to convince the admissions committee of your academic and analytical skill. So GPA does carry a lot of importance, and students with a very good GPA have higher chances of getting admits. Top universities such as MIT and Stanford really love department toppers. Being in the top three of the class is also considered great. So if you are still in your first year or second year of undergraduate college, really focus on improving your GPA because it does matter a lot. However, the main insight which I want to provide through today's video is that a low GPA is not the end of the world. If you are in your third year or fourth year, or if you are a job working in a job right now, there is no point in dwelling on the GPA because we cannot change it at this point. The good thing is that you can offset the lack of a great GPA by the two other things which we mentioned before, by telling a great story in your application and by building a strong research profile. So, you can offset the lack of a great GPA by building a strong research profile, by telling a compelling and coherent story in the application, by taking advanced online courses to show that you have the ability to navigate tough courses, and finally scoring well in GRE and TOEFL. There are a number of students who ask us this question that my GPA is not so good, what can I do? There are two things you can do. You can tell a great story in your application, number one, and secondly, you can build a very strong research profile. First, let me come to the importance of storytelling in the application. One thing which is very important to know is that grad school applications are quite different than writing an exam. In an exam, you have a fixed target and you are judged based on the amount of marks which you get, right? But grad school application is like a sales process. You are selling your story to the admissions committee. So you have to be able to convey to the admissions committee who are you and what do you want to do in grad school? What are your experiences? What is your long term vision? How do your experiences and vision make you a good fit to the department? So it is not as objective as getting marks and based on that you get certain universities. It's not even a direct correlation that a GPA is correlated with top universities, or rather a lower GPA is correlated with not so good universities, but it's a storytelling process. And the documents such as the statement of purpose, resume, letter of recommendation are great storytelling opportunities. So don't just look at these documents as pieces of paper. They are your opportunity to tell a story. If let's say your CGPA has a drop during certain semester, your statement of purpose allows you to tell why you have that particular drop. So you have to tell a great story through these documents. So the three documents which are quite important for grad school applications are the statement of purpose, letter of recommendation, and the resume. By far the most important document in the application process is the statement of purpose or your SOP. SOP forms the foundation of your story. It is that document where you can express yourself. It's that document where you can convert your weaknesses into points of strength. So if you have a low GPA, try to think what you can write in your SOP so that the story can be sold in a much better manner. You can use your SOP to convert your weaknesses into strengths. If you have a gap year in your profile, you can say that during that time you build up your resilience and you learn different skills. So that gap year is no longer a weakness, right? It can be a position of strength. So think of the SOP as an opportunity to tell a compelling story and to overcome your weaknesses. Everyone has weaknesses in their application, but people who get top admits convert those into points of strength. The second thing is the letter of recommendation. Essentially, anyone can write anything in the statement of purpose, right? But what gives real validity or credibility to the SOP is the letter of recommendation from your professor or your manager. If the person who writes your letter of recommendation supports what you have written in your SOP, then it really adds credibility to your story. And the third important document is the resume. Resume is your 60-second pitch to the department. They are looking at thousands of profiles. You have to make sure that your resume stands out in those 60 seconds. You have to make sure that it is academic and professional. Now, let's come to the third aspect of these three, which is probably the most important and probably the most underrated aspect, and that is the impact of a strong research profile. So, let me first explain why research profile is so important for grad school admits. And I learned this after spending 5 years of PhD at MIT. So look at these images here. These represent 5 great research breakthroughs. This image here is the development of high speed photography. This image here is the image of a black hole which was seen for the first time. Here's the discovery of chat GPT. Here's the discovery of the DNA molecule, and this book represents fundamental advancements in economics. One thing which I want you to note is that behind all these breakthroughs is usually a researcher or a team of researchers. Look at this image. Here is a researcher who was instrumental in the team which saw the black hole image for the first time. Now, this is a researcher, and they, I think, belong to MIT or CMU at that point. The reason why building a research profile is so important is that universities are betting on the fact that you can become a person like this. So, if you have publications, conferences, or patents in your profile when you apply to the university, it tells the admissions committee that you are capable of starting a research problem and taking it to completion. It tells the admissions committee that you have the potential to become a researcher like this. And if that happens, then it's great for their university as well, right? Because the university's reputation depends on the quality of its researchers. And that's why if you have publications in your profile is elevated to another level and it can even offset a mediocre GPA. When I say research profile, look at these five components over here. Having research projects is good, but it's not very valuable because many people have projects. So projects have low value. If you have internships, that's great. If you have international internships, that's even better because this can be tangible. You can get a letter of recommendation from the professor, and it even shows that you have global exposure. But the real impact comes from these three aspects: having publications, conferences, and patents. These are the three things which can add a huge amount of value to your profile. If you have a research publication in which you are the first author and it's published in an impactful journal, if you have a conference presentation in which you are a first author and if it's presented at a impactful or prestigious conference, or if you have an impactful patent, these add a huge amount of value to your profile because they are tangible research outcomes. So in whichever stage of your application you are, you should really aim to build your research profile and don't dwell on your GPA too much. So in summary, these three aspects are the one which really help determine the grad school admit. First is your CGPA, second is the storytelling in your application, and third is the research profile which you develop for yourself. If your CGPA is low and if you cannot change it at this point, don't worry. Focus on these other two aspects and focus on how you can make them the strongest version as possible. I hope this video added value to your life. If you like this content, please like this video and subscribe to our channel. We'll be posting many more videos like this. Thank you.